3 or 4 that say they
so they
can't
can't
get
get
in.
in, and even some tell them to dial in the phone, just the phone. If
Here,
they
go ahead.
okay. Uh,
There's 4.
okay, I want to welcome everybody, and so happy you're able to join us tonight. If you're not muted, would you go ahead and mute yourself? And then as I ask you to come back on, okay, there we go. Thank you so much. We're going to start out with, just before we started recording the call, Diana had come on and asked a question about the pool money. Okay, go ahead, Diane. Diana.
Yeah, I would just like clarification as clients, pre-clients and existing clients are coming into the challenge. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little soft, but go ahead.
Okay. As clients are coming into the challenge and they're paying their fee, my question is, at the end of the challenge, do just the monies that I collect from my team go into my individual pot, or do all those monies go into the large pot of the whole organization?
Okay, you know her question?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, all the money goes in to one big pot. And I think because right now it's like, I forget, 30,000, it changes so much. It's like 30,000. And a lot of people get the impression that, wow, there's going to be a lot of money. This is really designed for even though there's weekly winnings, there's $1,000 for the team that does the best average, all those things. The real emphasis is in the individual winner. So one of the things that Doug Wood even said in the last contest, he was really shooting it out there. I think they were up to like 40,000 last time, because the Millers did a smaller group, and then we were in Craig's group, and so the real emphasis is, wow, look, we got $40,000. Well, in the end, people wanted to know, well, where did all the money go? Well, our whole desire was for everyone to reach their goal. Not everybody did, but a lot of people did. So they took a large part of that money and passed it back to the individuals, in like they won 25 or something dollars. So to dangle that you could possibly win a lot of money would not be the angle. I think you got to push that, you get in there, reach your goal, get your points, get your 6% weight loss. That's where the real winning is anyway. So I'm sorry for the interruption, but we keep
Stacy got on. She got on. Okay.
Keep people dinging. So I don't know what the problem was this time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the thing on the money. All right. Okay. You can walk over there. We want to talk a little bit. We did something, and I want to spend a little bit of time on it tonight because it was so powerful being there at the Heath. We did a local meeting, and we
5200. 5 as in 5 out.
That's the Zoom number. That's not the dial-in number, Sue. That's not the dial-in number.
Okay.
So
Here, hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, everybody.
Claudia, you have to, when that Zoom information, there's also a phone number on that that's not the Zoom number. That's the number you have to call. I don't know what it is right now. I'd have to almost look it up for it. Okay, hang on a second.
Somebody just left.
Okay, let me do it. This is so long.
I know. He's in the middle of the call, so we're going to do our best to get you. He doesn't think he can get the number up right now. So
because of the people. So.
Okay, replay it. Okay. Okay.
All right, so we're continuing. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay.
So anyway, we had just a wonderful meeting. It was very, very successful. And one of the things on the meeting is that we actually Zoomed it out to everybody across the United States. Mm-hmm. And so our next meeting is October 4th. And
at the
Heathman again. And of course, for you people that are local, there was nothing like being there. It was just absolutely tremendous. But also for those that can't, I want to say you can and I know for me particular, sitting in my living room watching a 3-hour meeting, but we try to change it up every 15 to 20 minutes, do different things. So we tried to make it to where it wasn't just dragging on, and it really wasn't on. We believe our teaching is like for this time, and the Zoom meeting, the Heathman meeting was more like, one lady said, this was a meeting to help get your mind healthy. So.
Yeah. Was there anybody there or that listened to the Zoom that had a takeaway, something that they walked away with from the meeting? Just go ahead and share one thing.
Well, I thought it was all done well. I think sometimes people miss how well organized and orchestrated everything is and what it takes to put something like that together. So I tend to like how the flow went with speakers and teachers, and then you interspersed it with testimonies. So I think just from an organization standpoint, I thought it was really good. Every speaker had something good, at least a nugget or two to take away from the time. So I really appreciated. I think I like Bill Ritchie a lot too, and what he said, and that relationships are key to sustainability.
Yes.
And that goes for everything in life, and not just for health, I think, is how we explained it.
Yeah.
Was that just learning again why the support system, why the coaches, why people in your life when you try to accomplish goals are important. So that was my takeaway.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I really just felt like it just kept moving, so you never felt like, oh, this is getting kind of draggy. It just, there was something fresh coming up every, 15 minutes. I think I was just touched by I was writing, taking notes as fast as I could, but just even watching one of the clients introduce, someone who was going to share their testimony and the impact they had on their life. I mean, it was just very moving. It's just, and that's back to relationships.
Yeah.
It was very, very good. It was, I really enjoyed it. And I'm excited to bring some other people next time.
Yeah.
Good, Glenda. Awesome.
So one of the things we were really trying to do is, like you said, because we are zooming it across the United States where people can actually hold meetings in their living room. We have people all over that, a flight to the Portland area, the Northwest area, for a 3-hour meeting would be kind of not cost efficient for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to make that, and I think we hit onto something. This goes back a couple of challenges when Sue and I were in one of our first challenges, and we didn't know what we were doing and everything, but I think we hit onto a very good thing, don't you?
We did. It was really based on friendship and community. And we had a Facebook page, which I ran. I do a lot of that, as you know. And it was so great to see people from different states not knowing each other and cheering each other on when they'd say, I lost 3 pounds, I lost 2 pounds. So this challenge is not only going to build your business, it's going to build your core. And that's what we all want. You got to have a really good foundation before you start growth. And it needs to be solid. And so I think you're going to hear at the Heathman a lot about this, a lot about community. And I loved Bill Ritchie on all of that because that's what our business is all about, really.
And again, going back to that, that's what makes us stay around. And I think Bill Ritchie hit right on the money when he talked about all the different diets and stuff, why they failed and everything. And he said, because there was no relationship. When a person hit a hard spot or wanted to know, did anyone else experience it? When you've got community going on and you heard last week so-and-so said this or so-and-so said this on this meeting, so you go, wow. One of the things that really came out in the meeting was everybody's pretty much, we're all alike. We didn't just get on this thing and just glide right through it. It wasn't just a piece of cake. We had our ups and downs along the way.
Well, and as coaches, we need to always keep in mind, in the forefront of our mind, that people love to be validated. We want to be validated, and they're no different than we are. And so just affirming them and holding their hand. I love Bill Ritchie's one slide of, you're just taking the hand of another person. Mm-hmm. That's really what you're doing. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that's right. Frank just wrote, relationships is the key to sustainability. Mm-hmm. And that's truly it. That's what we really, really hit on. And so I say this now, and we'll get off the heap. And but I think as a group, you guys are very much responsible for the direction that Sue and I are going. We see in you the development that's going along and your growth in your own personal health journey, in your business journey. I can't tell you, Sue knows, man, we've been on the go trying to keep up with everybody. Our schedule is full.
Well, it's good though.
Oh, it's a good thing. I'm not complaining.
It's activity, and they have questions, and they want help, and that's what they're working.
So what we want to go for, just again, October 4th, if you're from out of town, start thinking about now. Even if it's invites a certain friend over, and I know, and we're going to change it up just like we did this time, and really have something for the people all over the United States to be able to view and enjoy. And of course, if you're local, we want you to come, because I think there's nothing better than 150 people getting together and just really encouraging one another. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, without a doubt, we got 15 minutes left here. Without a doubt, the thin it to win it is probably, and I know we spent a lot of time on this, but I want to tell you why. Can you guys see that now? Everyone can see the screen? Okay. The reason I want to spend some time on this is this challenge can be a real boost to your business. Because one, we already talked about this a lot, but I know, and I'm going to reiterate some things, but you can get people to get into a challenge a lot easier than trying to explain a program to them and or all the things that are. So going forward, I want to tell you a little story that I heard this week about, and this wasn't directly to the challenge, but it was about activity. A lady that we met at the convention, she had 3 clients, and she really, like a lot of people there, really had the desire to have a successful business. And her goal was, I just want to be an executive director. I think that'll give me, one, the income that I need to take my business to the next level. But I just, she had been a Take Shape coach for a while. And so what she decided when she left there is that she had her 3 clients that she was taking care of, but that she was going to get out there and she was going to work. Well, this week we found out that she became an executive director as of Sunday. She became an executive director. I said, wow, how'd you do that? And she said she literally went up in her little room, she calls it, and she went back and called all of her ex-clients and told them about the challenge. And she said something else. I really am working hard to become an executive director with Take Shape, because that's a goal I've set for myself. And I didn't know where you're at health-wise or where, but if it's something you've been thinking about, I would love to coach you again and everything. Anyway, must have worked. So from the middle of July to the end of August, she became an executive director. And I can tell you there's not one person on this call tonight that couldn't do the same thing. It's activity. There's 2 things I think Sue and I talk about we wanted to pass on. You have to stay connected in some way. I think it's real easy, and I'm talking to myself too, it's real easy to just let time get by. It could be 1 or 2 days, maybe a week, and
we haven't been on purpose.
Yeah.
Every day.
And so that's why we say, even if it's only 15 minutes, work your business, get on the different calls and stuff. And you've got to balance it out. I mean, that's a part that is your responsibility. But I think so many people think they can miss the Zoom calls, they can miss the leadership calls, they can not be engaged. And engagements is different levels for different people. But the engagement I'm talking about is that you've got to have certain things that you've set down, that you kind of draw on the line in the sand and said to yourself, I'm not going to miss this. I'm not. And then, of course, the real bigger move, and this is where I was hung up a lot. I'm a great organizer. I'm a great list person, and I can do this. And a lot of times I'll let my list make me feel good about myself that I've actually accomplished something. But you know what? If I haven't called somebody or talked to somebody about program or becoming a coach, then I've really had not much activity.
And what are we going to do tonight when we get off the?
We've got a list of names that you can't believe. I mean, that lady inspired me, and I do, and I think we do a lot of calling. But she inspired me so soon. I said, you know what? We're spending the next 3 days, other than the different meetings we have in between the calls. We're going to spend the next 3 days and see how, if we can call 100 or 200 people, and just see, you know. And some of you are out there saying, well, I don't have 100 or 200 people. Then one of the little tricks that I also learned, people say they're on Facebook, and I guess on the side, and I'm not a Facebook guy, on the side you'll see people on that you know, and they'll just say, well, they're, hey, I see that you're on, and did you know I was doing a challenge and stuff like that? And I've heard people add a lot of people to their room just doing that, just why the people on there just popping in and saying, hey, join my challenge. I want you guys' feedback, some of the things.
Any questions, too,
questions
about the challenge. If you have questions, that'd be good right now, too. Tony, she's talking. She's not.
No, she's chewing gum, I think.
Okay. Nope.
So she's talking to other folks. She's not talking to us.
Okay. Anybody?
Come on, you got to be brave and ask questions.
I don't have really a question.
This is Claudia. Can you hear me?
Yes, Claudia, we can hear you.
One thing that we have found has been really helpful is using these websites to kind of learn how to set up events and all of that. They've been really, really clear and easy to follow. And for me to say that, it's amazing. But we went and got our postcards printed today, and we've been handing those out even at the AutoZone. So it's like, yeah, so it's just, I really appreciate those websites, the Coach, Challenge Coach, and the Challenge Coach tools. So, so we've been getting everything set up and out talking to people, and had an opportunity to set up a vendor booth at the Curves gym, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So just because they've seen some of the stuff I've been posting on Facebook. So anyway, I just want to thank whoever's just put this together with such perfection. So
yeah, it's really good.
And I'm going to go to that right now since Claudia brought it up. If you're in that place where maybe you're frustrated a little bit, not sure, keep moving forward. If you've got to get a hold of us, let us help you get that thing going, because no matter how efficient or inefficient you are in this challenge, you will come out of it ready for the next one. I can't tell you how many people have only had 1 or 2 people in the room last time that are filling their room up, and because one, they have the confidence. This page you see here on your screen, really when you get down to it, all these little things they show here and stuff, that way to get points, very, very easy now.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of different levels you could be. You could be at a level you haven't even got your room key yet, so you need to do that. You got your room key, but you're froze. You're already filling your room, so there's many different areas you could be here. But one of the things I want to say is getting people into the room. Once you've done that, then your real work begins, because because on that you need to take them to their page and talk to them about it, because it's like anything else. You can give a person a room key, but if they don't go in and unlock the door and go in and see what's in the room, it's just a key. And so we call it pre-client interview. Yeah. In other words, you're interviewing them. You're not interviewing them trying to get them on program. What you're doing is you're interviewing them, making sure that they know every day they want to go in there and do their reading. They want to watch their videos. They want all the little things. And another thing, a big point, have your, if someone says, I think I want to do this. So, hey, do you know you'll get points for inviting people to join the challenge too? Yep. And that's been a real big one, because those people that are coming in second tier come in because of someone else, but they get in there and they're blown away with the way we run this thing. So really pump up the people that are getting in your room. to invite somebody. Hey, invite your friend. You and your girlfriend can have a kind of in the room challenge against one another. These different little things that people just love, you know.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
You do.
And I see friends saying, well, we're teammates, but I'm going to lose more than 6%. I'm going to beat you. And so this little competition begins, and it's all for good because it promotes health. Okay, I'm going to open it back up for questions again or comments.
Jack, does it have to be about weight? I mean, I've been kind of telling people, you know, that they can kind of decide what they want it to be. If it's just going to, for the first time, just make them more aware. I didn't, you know, because you hate to go up to a friend that's heavy and just say, well, you know, would you like to join my challenge? So I've kind of said, you know, it's your journey. You know, it may be about walking more or drinking more water or whatever you may want it to be. I didn't want to you want to just wait. You know what I mean?
I totally understand, but Glenda, sometimes we can also be too passive. So and so I totally agree with what you said, but at the same time, once she's in the room, what's our job once we got somebody in the room?
Well, that's what I want her to get in the room so
Right.
that she'll be inspired to want to lose weight.
Right. So we get them in the room, and what are we going to do before this contest starts? We're going to do a client interview.
Yeah.
What are we going to try to, what's the number one thing we're going to try to find out from that person? What do you want to accomplish?
I want them to become that they need better health.
No, what do we want to find out from them?
What do they want?
What we want to find out what they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, you joined this challenge. I'll use you, Glenda. Glenda, you joined the challenge. Well, we're so excited for you. I want to spend a little time and go over the page. This is something, it's not a lot of work. It's a lot of color and stuff, but really, you know, and they'll have their page up. They could be on the phone with you, and you'll say, you see all the stuff? Oh, wow, look, the pool money's up to $35,000 now. I see you're in the weight loss part of it because there's a maintenance part. But Glenda, before we go any further, I just want to ask you, what is it? I mean, I know you like contests and stuff, but what is it that you want to try to accomplish on this challenge? It's 6 weeks long. What is it that you really want to accomplish? And that's when the people start sharing their heart. And rather than us, that's when we pull back, sit back in our chair,
don't say
and let them talk.
Yeah.
And when they get to a point or they say something, write yourself a little note and keep having them talk. Because when they're done with it and everything, when they're finally all done with it, you'll not only know the short-term stuff, you'll know the long-term stuff. In other words, this person might need to lose 100 pounds, let's say, and they might say, well, I'd like to lose 20 pounds in this 6 weeks, and that's great. But then you find out more about them.
And that gets back to community. You want that teammate to start building a relationship with you, start trusting you. That's when they tell their friends and their mom, and you know, because you start to have a relationship with them. So that's what the pre-interview is for, also to establish some type of connection with your teammate.
And go ahead.
You already have that relationship. You've had it for 10 years. So you're just wanting them to join the challenge without a lot of pressure.
Yes, and a lot of explanation. Less is better.
Yeah, and totally. But I'm saying you're not doing them justice if they get in the challenge and you just kind of let them float around. Our job is to, once they're in there, do that. They may say, well, I'd like to lose 5 pounds in the next 6 weeks, and they're 100 pounds overweight. Well, that's what they want. That's, you know.
Well, and some people are in denial about their weight, and maybe they're a friend, like Glenda's talking about. And so let the program speak to them. It will. You know, it's so great about the water and the exercise and some of the testimonials. Let the program, when they do their work and get their points, it'll speak to them. It'll do the job. Our job is just get them in.
Yeah, and another part of that is we're not a weight loss company. And I want to reiterate that because I think we lose sight of, especially on these challenges and stuff. We're not a weight loss company. Going back to the Heathman, it was so powerful because I think we talked more on a healthy mind that day than we ever talked. Even though we had little stories and stuff like that, it was really that powerful element of getting a healthy mind. And so we got to make sure that we don't lose the influence that this has on people getting healthy in their mind. And then, like Kim Fisk said, who knows, that person that you got in that invited so and so, and they ended up inviting so and so, might be your next presidential there, because that person sees the full picture. And so it's very important, to be very active. But I think the most important thing, and I keep kind of stuttering, but the most important thing really is to make sure that you interview the people in the room, not just think that they're going to know what they're going to do.
And we got to keep it fun. We have to keep it fun. It's a challenge. And so, and it is fun. So we don't have to be super serious about this. We just keep it light, keep it fun. When you do the interview process, just keep it light. Don't be too invasive,
Let them do the talking.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We got just a few more minutes. Anyone want to ask a question?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Diana.
So if we have clients that come on this challenge, some will want to lose weight, some will want to are in maintenance.
Right.
On the wall there, will it have two different strips? Like one will be for weight loss, one will be for maintenance. I mean, how are you going to know?
Strip on what part?
It's like a little band on there that has the
When they sign up, when they go in to sign up, it asks you right as when you go do your weigh-in, which starts on the 13th of September, people can start weighing in. It says right on the band, are you entering the weight loss or the maintenance? And it'll ask you. And so then they'll know. So, okay.
Hey, Jack and Sue,
Yes.
I needed a little extra help in getting everything set up in my room, a little extra help.
Yeah.
And Laurel at the Meltdown Challenge, I put the address there on the chat. She was really helpful, really quick, responded within just minutes of any time I had a question. I think I sent 5 emails, and she must have responded within 5 or 10 minutes every single time. So very helpful in helping set up at that email address that I left on the chat.
Oh, good.
That's great. I'm going to do this real quick.
That's
if
really
it
great.
Doesn't mess. Okay. No, it didn't. So, okay. Well, anyway, any other comments or questions? Anybody?
Oh,
I'm gonna look at the chat box.
Typing something.
We'll look at the chat box real quick here.
Can I make another comment, Claudia?
You can. Go ahead, Claudia.
From Brian Drollinger's call and Terry's in the group on Saturday, they were talking about Doug's mom had done this email or text out to all of her friends, but she talked about her tracking sheet she created, and that has been so helpful for me too. Every time I put a name down, I created an Excel sheet, and I'm not an expert at that at all, but I created one, and so I can put in the follow-up and how many touches until they come on board, and I think that's going to be really helpful. So if that inspires anybody.
Okay, and so how many of you been to the Miller's Thin It to Win It educational page? It has just about everything. It'll answer 90% of your questions, I'm sure. But to Vonnie's, it'll be our job to teach the participants how this thing works. And we want that responsibility because we want to build a relationship, because that's going to be the most powerful thing. And 2, we want to be very active. And so your room, and that's what I'm going to be as kind of the administrator over I think we got about 35 rooms we're administrating now of the 700 rooms that are in there. So, but we want to make sure that you guys are in those rooms. Let me tell you, if you get in those rooms and work them hard for 2 weeks, the other 4 weeks will be a cake. In fact, probably if you work the room for a week and you see everyone getting points, building, they're doing their job, you're keeping the relationship, you're cheering them on, you're keeping that relationship going. Writing on your room wall is going to be much, much easier this time than last time. And that's the key. I know I keep saying it, but the more active you are in your room and building that relationship, because some of us are independent. We think, wow, we can just do this on our own, but we just can't. Yeah. So with that, we're going to open up for questions or statements, and then we went about 5 minutes long tonight, but we did have our trouble getting on. And I don't know what that was because I sent everybody the same email, so I don't know why sometimes the number was working, some wasn't, but I apologize for anything. So, okay.
And thank you, Jan Stahl, for saying she typed in she really enjoyed the Heathman meeting. So we're just
let's fill it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That Heathman was amazing.
What was your takeaway from it, Jan?
Oh my goodness, there were so many takeaways, and probably because it was deeper than the 5-in-1. That's what I would say. It was deeper than the 5-in-1. There's only so many things that you can say about eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, drinking your water, and eating your lean and green.
Yeah, true.
How many ways can you say that? But this program is way more than 5-in-1, and that's what we covered at the Heathman. And so, if you were there, that's awesome. But if you weren't there, then you need to Zoom it or something because it was invaluable.
I agree.
And one of the things I noticed too afterwards, it took the people probably about 45 minutes to leave. It was almost like they had won something. I don't know what it was. But
a lot of them I've never met before.
Yeah, and it was just very exciting to see them. Because we usually have a debriefing after our meetings to say, what did we do good? How can we do better? All the things. You want to get good at it. You want to get better. If you did something stupid, you want to make sure not to repeat it. But it was amazing because it took us like 30 minutes before we could even have our meeting. So, Bill
Ritchie just joined us. And Bill, we were just bragging on you and all the wonderful teaching that you have done. So, yeah.
It was a fabulous Saturday. I just thought it was terrific. In fact, we were talking about it after the fact. It was the kind of meeting where you felt like anybody who had never come into anything about Take Shape for Life, if they went to that meeting, would say, wow, that was really good. Mm-hmm. Because everybody had so much to share that was just helpful for life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, true.
Well, I don't want to tell you how many people bragged on your talk, but
I loved it. It was awesome.
Honey, you're supposed to talk about
I loved yours too.
Okay, all right. No, it was excellent. Your thing on relationships was just fantastic, Bill.
And that's what we're about.
Sue and I are working on it now.
Yes.
A sustainable relationship.
Yes. No, what do they say? Perfect marriage is just two people who refuse to give up on each other. That's that's what I'm saying.
Okay, anybody else want to make it? Go ahead. Anybody else want to make a statement or anything before we sign off for the night? Hey, you guys are our family. We just love doing this with you. Let's go out and get America healthy and build those relationships.
Get this contest going.
If you have any questions on the challenge or anything, again, Sue and I are going to make our 100 calls tonight. Going to try like crazy. But if you need something, just call in. Go ahead, Bill. Did you have something?
No, I was just I was asked about those books, and I was reading some things that in the last couple days that are just crazy out of this book called Social. Did you know that the brain processes? I was talking about this on Saturday, but just like a doctor says when you have a headache, take, let's say, 2 Tylenol, acetaminophen. That if you take 2 Tylenol when you have a heartache, it has the exact same effect because it's the same part of the brain that is affected. Is that not bizarre?
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I was just reading some things about this today that just beyond that, how we process. For instance, you wonder why it is that all of us want things to be fair, and we do. We just have this thing about fair play and so on. And even when we might not make as much ourselves, if it's fair, we feel good about it. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason for that is that fairness in the brain hits the same exact pleasure center as chocolate.
Hey, that makes sense to me.
It does make sense to me.
I mean, that is just crazy to me. So that there really is a desire in all of us to see something be fair, and it's why we feel just bad if it's not.
Yeah.
Crazy
Interesting.
stuff.
What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book, Bill?
Name of the book, I'll grant you it's a little technical of a book, but
Uh-oh.
it's called Social by a guy named Lieberman.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna, no question thing. We're gonna go ahead and sign off.
Well, wait, is everybody okay?
Love you guys.
Love
Love you
you.
guys.
Thank you.